In the Star Wars galaxy, the Force is the unseen energy that binds all living things together. It is the source of untold power, shaping destinies, fueling the most powerful heroes and villains, and controlling the very fabric of the galaxy. But only a select few individuals, known as Force-sensitive beings, can truly harness the power of the Force. These gifted individuals are capable of extraordinary feats, whether it's moving objects with their minds, reading the emotions of others, or even controlling minds with a mere thought. Force-sensitive individuals come in many forms. Some align themselves with the light side, becoming Jedi who seek peace, justice, and balance in the galaxy. Others fall to the dark side, becoming Sith Lords who thirst for power and domination. There are those who walk a fine line, neither fully embracing the light nor the dark, but utilizing the Force for personal growth, independence, and survival. In this comprehensive journey, we'll explore the most iconic Force-sensitive characters across the Star Wars saga, from the greatest Jedi and Sith to those who exist somewhere in between. We will examine their powers, their philosophies, their key moments, and their enduring legacies in shaping the galaxy. So whether you're a Jedi, a Sith, or someone in between, grab your lightsaber, and let's explore the Force-sensitive characters who have shaped the fate of the galaxy. Number 1. Anakin Skywalker / Darth Vader. Anakin Skywalker's story is one of the most tragic and defining arcs in Star Wars. The rise and fall of one of the galaxy's greatest heroes, who eventually becomes the fearsome Darth Vader. Discovered as a slave on Tatooine, Anakin was believed to be the chosen one, destined to bring balance to the Force. His connection to the Force was extraordinary, and he was seen as a prodigy, surpassing even the most talented Jedi. Force abilities. Anakin's power in the Force was unmatched. His skills in combat, particularly lightsaber dueling, were extraordinary. He was also known for his unparalleled reflexes, advanced Force telekinesis, and strong Force intuition. His ability to perceive things before they happened was one of his most powerful gifts, allowing him to perform incredible feats in battle. Anakin's attachment to the people he loved, particularly his secret wife, Padme Amidala, became both his greatest strength and his greatest weakness. His fear of losing her led him to make choices that ultimately led him to the dark side. Key moments. Battle of Geonosis, Attack of the Clones. Anakin's prowess was immediately noticeable in the battle against the Separatist forces. His battle skills were evident as he engaged in aggressive combat, and his incredible reflexes on the pod racing circuit were translated into his Force abilities. Fall to the dark side. Revenge of the Sith. Anakin's turn to the dark side was driven by fear and a desire to protect those he loved. This inner conflict ultimately led to his tragic fall as he became Darth Vader. His transformation, symbolized by the switch from his blue lightsaber to the red of the Sith, marked his complete surrender to the dark side. Final redemption. Return of the Jedi. Anakin's story came full circle in Return of the Jedi. Despite his dark deeds, Anakin ultimately redeemed himself when he destroyed the Emperor to save his son, Luke Skywalker. This final act fulfilled the prophecy and brought balance to the Force, marking his transition from Darth Vader back to Anakin Skywalker. Anakin's tragic story represents the power and the danger of being Force-sensitive. His fall shows the fine line between hero and villain, and serves as a warning about the consequences of fear and attachment. Number 2. Luke Skywalker. Luke Skywalker's journey is one of self-discovery, growth, and ultimately becoming the Jedi his father once was. Born on Tatooine and raised by his aunt and uncle, Luke would eventually become the most pivotal figure in the galaxy's fight against the Empire. His path, while echoing his father's, would diverge in a way that would define the future of the Jedi and the galaxy itself. Force abilities. Luke's connection to the Force was strong from the very beginning. Though he did not initially understand or trust his abilities, Under the tutelage of Obi-Wan Kenobi and Yoda, Luke's force powers developed rapidly. He was a skilled pilot and a formidable fighter, and as he grew, so did his understanding of the Force. Luke's greatest ability was his connection to others, his ability to redeem his father and restore the Jedi legacy. Key moments. Training with Obi-Wan Kenobi, A New Hope. Luke's first steps as a Jedi were taken when Obi-Wan trained him in the ways of the Force. Although unsure of himself, Luke quickly demonstrated his potential. The Battle of Yavin and the destruction of the Death Star, A New Hope. Luke's skill as a pilot and his innate connection to the Force allowed him to destroy the Death Star by using his instincts to guide his shot into the small exhaust port. Training with Yoda, The Empire Strikes Back. Under Yoda's tutelage, Luke learned to focus and control the Force. However, his fear of losing his friends led him to leave his training prematurely, making him vulnerable to Darth Vader's manipulations. Confrontation with Darth Vader, Return of the Jedi. Luke's final confrontation with Darth Vader tested not only his physical strength, but his moral and spiritual fortitude. In a moment of emotional clarity, Luke chose to refuse to kill his father, ultimately bringing balance to the Force through his father's redemption. Luke's story is one of hope, redemption, and responsibility. His legacy is the restoration of the Jedi Order and the triumph of hope over the darkness that nearly consumed his family. Number 3. Yoda. Yoda is perhaps the most iconic Jedi in Star Wars, a symbol of wisdom, power, and longevity. Having lived over 900 years, Yoda is one of the most experienced and knowledgeable Force-sensitive beings in the galaxy. His deep connection to the Force allowed him to serve as a Jedi Master for centuries, guiding many of the galaxy's greatest Jedi and providing counsel to the Republic. Force abilities. Yoda was a master of nearly every aspect of the Force. His knowledge was vast, and his combat skills were nearly unmatched. Yoda's lightsaber dueling style was graceful and powerful, and he was a master of the Force's more subtle abilities, such as telekinesis, mind control, and the ability to sense and manipulate the Force in ways most Jedi could not. Yoda also had an uncanny ability to influence the outcomes of battles through strategic thinking and calm reasoning. Key moments. The duel with Darth Sidious. Revenge of the Sith. Yoda's final confrontation with Emperor Palpatine showcased his immense power and agility. Despite his small stature, Yoda was able to engage in an intense lightsaber duel with the Emperor, a battle that ultimately ended in his retreat after realizing that the dark side had the upper hand. The exile on Dagobah. The Empire Strikes Back. After the fall of the Jedi Order, Yoda went into exile, living on the swampy planet of Dagobah. There, he continued to mediate and guide the Force, awaiting the return of the Chosen One. Training Luke Skywalker, Return of the Jedi. Yoda's role in training Luke Skywalker was vital in Luke's eventual victory over the Emperor. Yoda imparted the wisdom of the Force and taught Luke about the importance of self-discipline and balance. Yoda's life symbolizes the embodiment of the Jedi Order, its wisdom, its power, and its ultimate failure during the rise of the Empire. He represents the legacy of the Jedi and the light side of the Force, showing that wisdom often comes with great sacrifice. Number 4. Obi-Wan Kenobi. Obi-Wan Kenobi's journey was integral to the fall of the Jedi Order and the eventual rise of hope in the galaxy. A Jedi Knight, and later a Jedi Master, Obi-Wan's life was filled with conflict, loss, and duty. His story is one of devotion, mentorship, and sacrifice. Force abilities. Obi-Wan's strength with the Force was exceptional, though he often relied on his intelligence, wisdom, and patience over raw power. His lightsaber combat style was one of grace, speed, and efficiency. Obi-Wan was a master at controlling his emotions and using the Force's more subtle aspects, such as mind tricks and telekinesis. Key moments. Duel with Anakin Skywalker. Revenge of the Sith. Obi-Wan's duel with his former Padawan, Anakin Skywalker, was one of the most emotional moments in Star Wars. Obi-Wan fought not only to stop Anakin's descent into the dark side, but to prevent the fall of the galaxy itself. Mentoring Luke Skywalker, A New Hope. Obi-Wan's final role in A New Hope was as a mentor to Luke Skywalker. His guidance and sacrifice were pivotal in Luke's journey, allowing him to defeat the Empire and begin the restoration of the Jedi Order. Obi-Wan Kenobi's life encapsulated the very essence of the Jedi, the protector, the teacher, and the self-sacrificial hero. His enduring legacy is one of wisdom and sacrifice for the greater good. Number 5. Rey. Rey's story is one of mystery, growth, and self-discovery. She was abandoned on the desert planet of Jakku, left with nothing but a scrap of past and a glimmer of hope. Her connection to the Force, however, would propel her into the most pivotal moments of the galaxy's future. Force abilities. Rey's Force abilities grew rapidly, surpassing the expectations of even seasoned Jedi. Her connection to the Force was raw and untapped, allowing her to perform extraordinary feats, such as learning to wield a lightsaber and understanding ancient teachings almost instantly. She also demonstrated a remarkable ability to manipulate the Force to communicate with others and heal wounds. Key moments. Training with Luke Skywalker, The Last Jedi. Rey's journey was marked by training under Luke Skywalker. Though initially unsure of her place in the galaxy, her connection to the Force grew stronger as she faced challenges. Battle with Emperor Palpatine, The Rise of Skywalker. In her final confrontation with the Emperor, Rey's connection to the Force was amplified by the spirits of past Jedi, allowing her to defeat Palpatine and restore balance to the galaxy. Rey's legacy is one of hope and renewal, representing the rebirth of the Jedi Order after the destruction caused by the Sith. Her connection to the Force symbolizes the potential of the galaxy's future, where the Jedi can rise again. Number 6. Ahsoka Tano. Ahsoka Tano's journey is one of independence, self-discovery, and strength. Initially a Padawan to Anakin Skywalker during the Clone Wars, Ahsoka's story evolved from a student to one of the most revered characters in Star Wars, one who walked away from the Jedi Order to forge her own path. Force abilities. Ahsoka's connection to the Force was strong from the very beginning, and as she grew, so did her strength. She was an exceptional lightsaber duelist and demonstrated her mastery in many key battles during the Clone Wars. She also had a unique ability to sense the emotions of others and could manipulate the environment around her using the Force. Key moments. Battle of Mandalore, The Clone Wars. Ahsoka's battle against Darth Maul on Mandalore was a turning point in her life, showcasing her skills as a warrior and leader. Exile from the Jedi Order, The Clone Wars. Ahsoka's departure from the Jedi Order marked a defining moment in her story. After being wrongfully accused of a crime, she rejected the Council's decision and chose to walk away from the Jedi, seeking her own path. Role in the Siege of Lothal, Star Wars Rebels. In Star Wars Rebels, Ahsoka's role as a leader in the rebellion against the Empire was crucial, and her eventual return to the fight against Darth Vader cemented her as one of the most powerful and respected figures in the galaxy. Ahsoka's journey is one of the most unique in Star Wars. She was not only a skilled Force-sensitive individual, but also someone who carved her own path outside the constraints of the Jedi Order. Conclusion. From the rise of Anakin Skywalker to the redemption of Rey, the Force-sensitive characters of Star Wars define the very fabric of the galaxy. Whether they are Jedi, Sith, or somewhere in between, these characters demonstrate the complex and often tumultuous relationship that one can have with the Force. The Force is a power that shapes lives, but it is the choices made by these Force-sensitive beings that ultimately shape the fate of the galaxy. Some are seduced by the dark side, others strive to stay on the path of light, and some walk a line in between. Each character's relationship with the Force speaks to the larger themes of destiny, power, balance, and the eternal struggle between light and dark. As long as there are Force-sensitive beings in the galaxy, the Force will continue to shape the universe, for better or for worse. Whether through sacrifice, redemption, or self-discovery, the legacy of these characters will forever be a part of Star Wars history.